Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Harmony Inspired Health Podcast, where ancient wisdom meets modern womanhood. Today's episode is going to be a sacred invitation. We're going to be diving into one of the most overlooked and misunderstood centers of power in the woman's body. And that, my friends, is the womb. Not just as a physical organ, but as a portal of intuition, emotional memory, and energetic intelligence. In a world where women's health is often reduced to hormone levels and cycle tracking, we're going to go deeper. We're exploring the womb and what the womb is trying to say, and how listening to her might change your whole experience and your whole life as a woman. So let's have a look at the womb beyond biology. In both Ayurveda and traditional Chinese medicine, the womb is not just a reproductive organ. She is a temple. She is a mirror, a container of your lived experiences. Yet modern medicine often sees her through a narrow lens: menstruation, fertility, reproduction. And when something goes wrong, we treat the symptoms with pills, procedures, or even dismissal. But I will say, we do need modern medicine to be able to help treat the womb at times with procedures. So I'm not inherently saying that these are wrong or bad, but it doesn't often look at that deeper aspect of the womb being an energetic aspect of us as women, and possibly what the root cause of those symptoms are. Like anything, if we let it go on for too long and the symptoms become unbearable, we need to treat the symptoms, okay? So I'm not saying that we don't ever treat symptoms in Ayurveda, because absolutely we do, because that will give us that immediate sort of pain relief or immediate emotional relief, whatever it is. But we always look deeper. We always go that extra step. So in Eastern medicine, we like to ask, what is the body communicating through this pain? What emotion or memory lives here? And what part of you is asking to be felt, expressed, or maybe even freed? The womb is a sacred storehouse of our stories. It remembers what we suppress, and it speaks, through symptoms when we aren't listening to those first little nudges. So we really need to listen to the womb's messages. And here's what I want you to know. Every menstrual irregularity, pelvic tension, or hormonal balance is not just a dysfunction, it is a conversation. And that is one that we're going to be having today. And it's one the body is trying to have with you. Maybe even now, you might be listening to this thinking, like, I have been feeling a bit off. My menstrual cycle has been irregular. I have been experiencing more pain or cramping or bloating. So let's look at some common womb-related conditions through a metaphysical lens, okay? I do lots of functional medicine and backing all of this up with science and all of that. But today I really want to take it deep into the core of metaphysical lenses, knowing that the womb space is not just a functional part of a female's body, but it also has this deep energetic aspect to it as well. So let's start with heavy periods. This could be a sign of an emotional overload, carrying too much for too long. So if you have heavy periods, I want you to ask yourself, what are you bleeding out that could be expressed instead? If you're someone who experiences painful cramps, this could suggest suppressed anger, grief, or a resistance to the feminine. So ask yourself, what in you is struggling to be felt? If you have irregular cycles, this could mean you're having a disconnection from nature, from rhythm. Ayurveda is all about connecting to nature and your circadian rhythm. This often indicates a vata imbalance from an Ayurvedic lens. And so I'd love for you to ask, where in your life have you overridden your own pace? Amenorrhea is like when you don't have a period, the period does not show up. And this can be the silence of the feminine, often linked to control, trauma, or fear of vulnerability. So if you have not had a period for more than 3 consecutive months, I would like you to ask yourself what part of you stopped flowing and why. PCOS, so polycystic ovarian syndrome, this could indicate stored creative energy, dreams unbirthed, the buildup of what could be. If you are someone who has PCOS, ask yourself what inside you is waiting to be created. And that leads me to endometriosis, which is becoming more and more common. And that's because it is more readily diagnosed. It was going undiagnosed for so long in so many women. So it is great that we are getting this diagnosis. But what I've seen is with endometriosis, it can be a sign of inner fragmentation. So holding pain or betrayal in the womb space. So you can ask yourself, where does your body still carry the memory of not being safe? Fibroids, they can often be expressed through the body as unexpressed stories or generational pain, putting everyone else first. So ask yourself, what has grown in your body that needed to be spoken out aloud? How are you not expressing yourself? And if you might be getting reoccurring infections, this can often be linked to shame, guilt, or discomfort in your sensuality. So where have you silenced your pleasure or saying you're not saying no enough? Where have you silenced yourself to be able to speak up and say no? Now, these are not random occurrences. These are intelligent messages from your sacred center, the womb. So I really would love for you to get deeper into your intuitive senses when you are experiencing any dis-ease or discomfort that is coming from the womb space. In Ayurveda, the womb is called Garbhashaya, the seat of creation. And she is governed by Apana Vayu. That's the downward moving energy responsible for menstruation, elimination, and birth. And when Apana Vayu is disturbed, we see painful cycles, prolapses, or emotional instability. And so it can be the function of the Apana Vayu, that downward energetic motion that is disturbed, creating some of these metaphysical aspects to be expressed more deeply. In traditional Chinese medicine, the uterus is called a zigong, and that means the place of child, and it's nourished by kidney essence or jing, and we often relate that in Ayurveda to ojas. The womb is also regulated by liver qi in TCM, traditional Chinese medicine. So when liver qi is stagnant due to stress or trauma, then the womb does suffer, and the energy channels like Renmai, which is the conception vessel, and Changmai, which is the penetrating vessel, these are different meridians, link our womb to our entire energy system, the mind, the body, and the soul. So when these channels are disrupted, the imbalance shows up as both physical symptoms and emotional unrest. So we can see from the Ayurvedic and the TCM perspective, they're both really speaking the same language, saying, hey, yes, we're going to have physical manifestations for sure, but we're also going to have some mental, emotional, energetic unrest as well. And these are all part of the manifestation of these womb diseases. So now that we have a broader understanding of the energetics of the womb, I want to talk about the emotional body and the psychosomatic healing that can take place. Western medicine calls these psychosomatic symptoms, and Ayurveda calls them karmic patterns, emotional armor, or disturbances in ojas and prana. These terms, they all point to one truth, that your emotions shape your biology. Your womb remembers what your mind tries to forget. So when you experience symptoms, instead of asking, oh, what's wrong with me? Like, what's going on down there? You can also ask what truth wants to be spoken, what pain wants to be felt, what power have I forgotten? The womb space is a space of creation, yes, but it's also of storage. So if we don't express, she will hold. If we don't heal, she will remind us. And this is what I call womb wisdom. So if you have felt seen today in this episode, you're like, something has clicked, or oh my gosh, I always thought that was the case, but I haven't been able to articulate it or put it into words. It's because your womb has been waiting for this moment, for it to be heard, to be honored, and to be healed. And in my book, Ayurveda and the Alchemy of Her, I go much deeper into these topics. We explore not only the energetic roots of reproductive symptoms, but also tools for healing, rituals, herbs, breath work, and mindset shifts that bring you home to your body's wisdom and your womb's wisdom. You can grab a copy now. Just head to my website, harmonyinspiredhealth.com.au/book. I will also put the link in the show notes. And if you want to go even deeper, explore your unique Ayurvedic body type, Vedic astrology chart, or study with me, check out the resource links below. And remember this, your womb is not broken. Your body is not against you. She is wise, wild, and worthy of your trust. This is a return, the remembrance, and the reclamation of you and your higher self. I would also love to ask you, if this episode moved you in any way, please leave a review and share it with the women in your life. It really does help get this information out to all women. Your body is sacred, your story is powerful, and your healing is your birthright. So until next time, stay grounded, stay wild, and stay aligned with your higher self. Namaste.